What's up? Welcome to Tales to Morrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some more drinks and RPG horror stories. I'm still behind the bar. Would you like a drink? I could probably get you something. A little bit of a bottle of cringe. How does that sound? Here, you enjoy a sip on that, and we're gonna get to the first story for today. Your character needs to do a public apology. So this happened a little over a year ago, so some details are a bit foggy. I was playing in a homebrew Star Wars one-shot game set in Old Republic with two other people online. One was playing as a Republic SAS agent, we'll call her Sis. One guy was playing as a smuggler, we'll call him Smug. And I was playing as a Mandalorian. To summarize the one-shot's mission we were all being assigned, well, me and Smug were being hired to break out certain Republic prisoners from an Imperial prison. Now, Smug is the guy who caused the issue. The entire time, despite Sis being the only actual Republic operative and the GM DNPCing our handle, Smug insisted that insisted that he makes all the calls. Should me and Sis try to use our character's skills without his permission or try to suggest some ideas, he would throw a small fit and even one time threatened to leave the two of us behind and go ahead himself because Sis wanted to use her hacking skills to access the cameras, while my Mando, whose skill basically made him a stealth assassin type, I know, cringe, but hey, cool, and I wanted to do something a bit different than most of the Mandalorian portrayals, use his high stealth skill to sneak around some guards and take out a sentry that was blocking our way into the room. Why? Because we would have been relegated to watching Sis's back while she monitored the camera. Going on after that, not too much has happened until we get to an impasse, where after we got our prisoner, we got caught by a guard who held us all at gunpoint. And while we were frantically trying to come up with ideas and having Smug with all his non-existent powers shoot them down, it was in character, we all had helmet comms, the GM decided to have another DNPC come in and save us with a small probe droid, shocking the man to death. We would find out later, and then we would have to shoot our way out. Before anyone says anything about the probe droid, it was agreed that if we went over the time and something bad happened, that the DNPC could throw us a bone. Again, this was agreed to before game because this was a purely for fun rule of cool one-shot. To speed things up, we shoot our way through the prison, get onto a landing pad, and get shuttled away by a commandeered Imperial prison transport. Now to the crux of the story. Right after we got into the transport, Smug would ask out of character, "Did you NPC kill that guy?" And the DM, confused, asked back, "Why?" "Answer the question." Yeah, the probe droid gave him enough of a shock to his heart to kill him. Why does it matter? "That's BS. That guy was just doing his job." GM obviously confused because he and the rest of us literally just got done killing multiple prison guards just to escape. So, Smug, I kid you not, "I demand that your character make a public apology. That man was just doing his job, and that's a crime. She should come out and apologize to the Empire and explain her actions." You guys just killed a lot of people. You shot your way out. Do you know what blasters do? Right? Or even like, they have blasters and also have slug rifles, right? But like, all those things are designed to kill. Huh? They just shot their way through, guns blazing, buns glazing. And they're having a problem with one guard dying? Huh? Yep. This guy, despite having killed multiple people in one shot, demanded that our DNPC handler, who saved our characters from possible imprisonment, should come out and reveal a secret Republic rescue operation to the Imperials, admit to her, not us, killing an innocent prison guard who was just doing her job, and make a public apology. Oh, and to turn herself in. Again, not all of us, just herself. Now, you'd be shocked to find out that our GM obviously said no, and I can't remember everything else that was said, but let's just say Smug whined about it for like another 5 minutes before the GM just decided to ignore him and give us a quick epilogue on the one-shot. And yeah, that's honestly it. Smug disconnected after GM ignored him, and me and Sis just said we had fun. I haven't spoken with these folks since, just figured I'd share a story on a rather weird guy who I don't know whether he was jealous and or upset that our characters had to be saved. Again, which was agreed by all. Instead of this guy solving the problem himself, or if he really thought that what the GM's PC did was so bad, yet everything he did was alright. I think the best way to describe this is Smug mad. Smug mad he didn't get the winning kill. Smug mad they had to be rescued. Smug is just upset that they didn't get the kill. That's literally it. And then wonder the NPC character to surrender to the Empire in a one-shot when they agreed it's okay to get help. you know, to get the story running along and stuff. Weird reasoning from somebody who actually shot the way through and killed multiple people just to get through a transport ship and stuff. Just don't understand it. I have no idea. Let's move on to the next story for today. The short-lived stay of the man-hating pacifist druid. Pacifist being in quotations heavily. Characters for the story are Barbarian, Bard, DM, Fighter, Druid, and me, Paladin. Things all started when Barbarian found out the Bard and I knew how to play D&D. She begged us to teach her and get a game together. We agreed, and I brought in DM to DM because I hadn't gotten to be a player in the last 5 years. Went 3 or 4 sessions and everything was going great. We all loved the story and our chemistry with each other. Things then changed when Barbarian came to me. She told me that she'd been having so much fun that she told her other friends about it and then asked if they could join. She excitedly told him yes without consulting the rest of us and asked me if I could teach him to play the same way I taught her. Admittedly, I was worried. I don't typically like playing with strangers. We already had such a good thing going that I didn't want new people coming in and potentially messing with it. But this whole game was set up for Barbarian and I didn't want to rain on her parade, so I agreed. Plus, Bard and DM didn't see anything wrong with adding some new players. Enter Fighter and Druid. I helped them make their characters. We caught them up on the story and started playing. Fighter was fine, but Druid was immediately a headache to play with. She never bothered to retain any of the rules, constantly needing me to explain to her how to do anything. It was so bad she couldn't even be bothered to do her own math even after I would give her all the numbers she needs and told her to just add them together. I was practically playing her turn for her after she decided what to do. This was already annoying, but her playstyle was even more aggravating. Whether the combat started or not, her character would without fail run in the opposite direction of the encounter. She said her character was a pacifist and never wanted to kill others. D&D math is not bad. It's literally just addition or subtraction. You could do the stuff on a cheap $2 calculator and stuff. You could do it on a kid's calculator even at this point, honestly. And if you use things like VTTs, like virtual tabletops or whatever, you literally have the math be done for you automatically. I use a VTT, I use Foundry, and we play our games of Foundry for all the stuff that I play, and just automatically does the math for you. Less thinking for DM, less thinking for players, more fun at the table. But even then, the math is not that bad. And also, why are you running away? Combat is part of it. Like, I get if you don't want to necessarily fight, but you can maybe support on the side. Support your allies with buffs and heals, or maybe debuff enemies and stuff. Why are you running away? We told her that she didn't have to hurt anyone and could heal us instead. She said no, she didn't want to have anything to do with fighting. We asked her if she could heal us after the fight. She said no again, saying she would never help a group of murderers. Then why are you traveling with us? That we deserve what we got. Yeah, we really brought the bandit ambush on ourselves. One of the players is fine, the fighter is fine, but this druid is going to create so many problems. And listen, I get it, right? The friend got excited. How does the friend get excited and then decides, hey, I'm just going to do the opposite of what this fun, exciting part of the game is? I am pretty sure at this point the druid is going to be running away from everything. Rolling a check, run away, roll a save, run away, fight, run away, speech check, run away. I'm abstaining from every part of the game that makes it fun. Like, what was the point of joining for this if you're not going to be participating in it? It's like going to a festival. It's like going to a music festival and you avoid every single band, you constantly cover your ears, and you avoid talking or listening to anybody. You just sit in the corner and say, this is what I'm here to do, la 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 la, this is what I'm here to do, la 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 la, I can't hear you, I can't hear the music. Why? The thing is, her pacifist ways only went as far as combat. When it came to RP moments, she was more than willing to instigate conflict by belittling everyone she talked to, including other party members. But only ever the men, I noticed. Hell, sometimes she'd even throw the first punch only to run away when the second combat started. No one was a fan of this obnoxious playstyle, so we all confronted her about it and told her to stop, or she'd be kicked from the game. She agreed to start helping in combat, but only if her back was to a wall. She truly had no other option. None of us were a fan of this answer, but Barbarian really didn't want to kick her, and she was afraid of what would happen to their friendship if we did. So we all agreed to just try and get along with her the best we could. If your entire friendship is literally riding on the coattails of whether your character is in a specific campaign for D&D or any other TTRPG, there's a bigger problem going on. that's beyond the game that you're playing, beyond anything. If your friendship can crumble simply because you're not playing in D&D together, I don't think your friendship could have lasted at that point. Genuinely have no idea. Imagine if somebody decides to, like, somebody invites me to play a video game, right? And they say, I don't really want to play that video game. And they end the friendship with me because of that. Huh? It'd be asinine. It'd be ridiculous. It just sounds absurd. Ending a friendship over TTRPG. Christ, dude. It's just a very complicated board game that comes in virtual flavor and real flavor. How can you get so upset over funny math rocks? Good lord. I get if the games go bad and stuff, but to ruin a friendship because of funny math rock game where you can't even do math because this druid doesn't want to do math, if you're not participating in this thing, how can you be upset over this? Things finally came to a head with one session. I was explaining to her how to do her turn again. And admittedly, I was a little snippy about it because I was tired of taking her turns for her because she couldn't bother to memorize anything. She then launched into a long-winded rant about how this is the problem with men. They don't bother to explain anything, but still expect you to know everything. I cut her off to tell her that me explaining how her abilities work, which dice to roll for them, what modifiers to add every turn since she joined the game, was me explaining how to play. And if she couldn't bother to retain any of it, that's her fault and no one else's. The room fell silent. Bart attempted to lighten the mood with jokes, but no one was in the mood for it. The session was called soon after. Yikes. Awkward situations suck, but you know what also sucks? When somebody just blame people for whatever absurd reason. This druid is not paying attention to anything at all, constantly goes against the grain for whatever reason, goes against the fun for whatever reason, and then instead her excuse is, oh, it's the men's fault. Nobody did anything against you. They're trying to teach you. Somebody is actually spending the time and effort to explain, re-explain, explain again, explain for the 4th time, explain again, explain for 6 times now, and on and on and on, and you don't pay attention. You don't care to learn. You don't care to participate. You're not a participant, and you just think, man, it's all men's fault because of this. Men don't explain anything to me. If you were to listen for like a iota, you probably would be able to catch something. The game ended soon after that, due to out-of-game drama with Fighter and Bard. I might tell that story if people are interested. After that though, we heard Druid had started her own game where she was the DM. Now I wasn't expecting an invitation, but Barbarian was heard that she wasn't invited. Not only did she not invite her to this game, but every event she had after. Barbarian was hurt because they've been friends since high school, and Druid decided to end our friendship, seemingly because I wouldn't take Druid's BS. Barbarian is over it though. This has happened about a year ago, and she moved on from it. Since then though, she hadn't been able to play another game of D&D, but still wants to. But this time, we're only going to play with people we all get along with. Simple answer. One of y'all DM, maybe the OP can DM, or you can find the DM from before or something, or a different DM, I don't know. But, you know, the last point about finding people that mesh together, good idea. I agree with that entirely. Can't believe that Druid ending a whole friendship over D&D in a game where she's not only not participating whatsoever, not engaging, not listening, not paying attention to anything, not getting involved in anything at all, and then has the audacity to rant towards the party members and then complain that it's a man's fault that I don't understand it. People that are so anti-fun will go so far to make the point heard and clear. I don't understand this mentality. I need a drink from this. Going as far as to ruin a friendship because of this. Christ, let's get to the next story for today. I'm gonna go ahead and take a swig of this. A squeaky girl tried to write my character for me. Hey everyone, I don't post on Reddit often, so I'm sorry if this is a little rambly. This isn't a crazy story, but I felt it was good enough to share it here. This happened a couple years ago, like late 2020. A friend of mine that I've kind of known for a while had invited me to join his group of friends for the D&D group. I've been a forever DM since as long as I can remember and had recently experienced my annual burnout, so I was excited at the prospect of joining a group as a player. I should mention that while my friends invited me for one campaign they had going, his friends took a liking to me enough to invite me to a secondary campaign that another player was DMing. This is the group where the problem arose. Most of the players were the same in both campaigns, but there was one other player in a secondary group that wasn't in the other. We'll call her, I'm not doing the initial thing like every other RPG horror story person, so we're just gonna go with Brittany. Brittany sounds fun. It's probably gonna be the problem player's name, but hey, at least Brittany is a nice name. Also, I think a lot of these people met from being in artistic circles, so many of them were digital artists, animators, etc., including Brittany. When I was invited to this group, I had already had a small arsenal full of characters ready to play, as most forever DMs tend to have, and it was as simple as choosing the best character to fit the setting, quickly adapting them, and rolling for stats. The DM and I had good time creating my character, and he was genuinely my favorite character to have ever played. He was a Saxon Hale Indiana Jones inspired safari man in his 50s. Always in a big hat, very athletic, and was a muscle goofball who was an overconfident survivalist. I love character builds, so for those of you who want to know exactly what he was, I'll include that in the end. His name was Daniel Danger, and of course everyone called him Danger. Since I have an inability to make a character not a little edgy, I end up writing him with awful trust issues and having the meta motto of always running from his problems. With that context out of the way, let me get into what happened. I feel like when you say always running from the problems, you gotta like nod your hat and stuff. Anyway, let's get to the story. On the first session after I joined, we had a blast. I was on fire, getting the whole party involved in my antics and socially terrorizing some NPCs with my crazy new character. Danger was a hit. I wasn't super close with anybody, so I didn't really pay any special attention to any one person. But since it related to Danger's backstory, I had planned a little grounding flashback moment that happened when Danger first sees Brittany's character. Danger had lost a little sister, and Brittany's character reminded him of her. For context, Brittany is playing a small fighter girl with a 16 strength that you wouldn't notice by looking at her. She's playing a minor, but I don't think Brittany's player was. Before the last session, Brittany came up to me and announced that they had made art of my character. I was flattered and asked to see it. That's when Brittany showed me the art they had made of both me and their characters together, sharing a tender moment where Danger had been injured and Brittany's character was tending to his wounds as they look intimately toward each other. Note, our characters haven't even met each other, not properly. We haven't talked as players at that much, and Danger was not in a situation like this in the slightest. Remember the part where the piece said that Brittany's character was a minor? Yeah, I am sensing some very gross vibes coming up, and I don't think I like it. Something about this left a weird taste in my mouth, and I asked Brittany to let me know if they plan on drawing my character, so I can have a little bit of agency with what they do with them. Brittany seemed a little hurt, but understood. A few sessions later, I arrived a little early and a few people were talking idly. I hadn't been on a call for nearly a minute before I hear Brittany talking about Danger, saying something to the effect of, "Yeah, I think he accidentally made my type." I didn't say anything, but I noted as just stay away from her kind of red flag. In that session, a few players, including Danger, went hunting. Danger managed to sustain a small injury during this, and Brittany's player could smell blood in the water. She immediately started fumbling her way over to my character's brandishing a medkit and attempted to make her fanon a reality. As I mentioned before, I wrote Danger with severe trust and intimacy issues, so this was not going to happen. I described Danger keeping his distance, not allowing her to touch him, and even used a second wind to show that there's no issue. This didn't deter her. She was determined to get what she came for. DM ended up calling for a contested strength check that I highly opposed since it was violating my character's autonomy, but I won anyway. Cue Brittany pouting IRL and shutting down from 100 to 0. Girl is gunning for something that's just not gonna happen. Listen, if you want to have some sort of a romance between player characters, the least you can do, the easiest, simplest solution to that, ask the player if they want that for their character. Check with them ahead of time. Don't just spring it up on them through like fan art or fan fiction or any sort of art and stuff. While art may be nice and everything, don't turn it into like a canon immediately without checking with the player ahead of time. Ask the player ahead of time if they're cool with having their player character be engaged in like some sort of like a romantic thing with another player character and stuff. Maybe with your player character, I don't know. You gotta check with these sort of things. You don't just spring it up on people. Maybe they had a conversation and if Brittany aged up her character to being at least 18, maybe they could have blossomed something there. Maybe. But as of right now, this whole situation is weird, and clearly the OP is not vibing with it. I don't think many people would be vibing with it in the first place. Session continues for a few minutes, and I felt a little bad for her. I decided to give her an actual authentic interaction. Using the game we had caught, and utilizing my character's simultaneous stupidity and superhuman repression ability, I had Danger approach Brittany's character with a wishbone to pull. It was small. Roll for it, and she got a larger piece, and we got to make a wish, Danger explained. Brittany started crying. She teared up in a call and left. I was absolutely dumbstruck as she caused this minor scene. Some of the players and the DM decided to call the session early to go and console her, while it was left with just me and my friend. He assured me I didn't do anything wrong. I'm double checking the story and yeah, I don't think you did anything wrong. You literally thrown her a bone. A wishbone. For character interaction. So they can at least be friendly, I guess. Be friendly party mates and stuff. After this, Brittany was pretty hostile towards me when we would interact. She would adhere to what I had asked her to do regarding drawing my character. But whenever she wanted to draw my character as part of the group drawing, she would add some weird stink onto her, having to ask my permission. Although she never really ventured beyond the bounds of what was acceptable after that. I ended up leaving the campaign after the party ditched Danger for the second time in a major way, and it was a very unceremonious end to my favorite character to have played to date. There were many more small issues with Brittany throughout the campaign, but those were the highlights most relevant to this issue. She recently blew up my friend's D&D server with a big entitled issue about how everyone in the group refused to cut off their friend simply because she didn't like them anymore and left. So now I feel like I can post this, as I know I'll never have to deal with her again. Honestly, I have no idea what Brittany's problem is. I have no clue whatsoever. It's really difficult from just this segment here to get a read on her. Feel like I've met somebody like that before. At least experiencing similar type of things where they get hooked on some. Actually, I have met somebody like that before. Literally the same kind of behavior. They get their metaphorical hooks on somebody that they like and everything. And they'll keep like hooking onto them to see, you know, where they can be led onto. Basically allowing themselves to be led onto a specific journey of romance and stuff. Where there really is no romance in the first place. It's just friendship and platonic. And then suddenly when it doesn't work out, they break all ties and suddenly just you go from admiring a person to being enemy number one for whatever reason. The story does have the stats for nerds for Daniel Danger, so I guess we should probably give Daniel Danger the last send-off. Stats for nerds. Daniel Danger was a 5th level character, 3 levels in Rogue, Swashbuckler, and 2 levels in Fighter. Strength Rogues for the win. Danger was a grappler, and a damn good one since I took expertise in athletics. I used his cunning action dash to portray the idea that he's always running everywhere, which added to the whole motto of running from his problems. He had a messed up childhood, y'all. The DM let me take a redesigned grappler feat that essentially gave him maneuvers that you can perform on creatures you have grappled. Super fun. He fought a bear by himself and won. Barely. Hopefully Daniel Danger will get to go for another adventure, running from more problems, and avoid Brittany's, everybody. Avoid Brittany's. By the way, I'm not saying like Brittany isn't like the name and stuff. The name is actually pretty, but this character here, the Brittany character, avoid them at all costs. And with that, that'll be all our stories for today. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you want to give any feedback in the comment section below, like the video and subscribe for more videos. For now though, I'm gonna go ahead and drink a bit of this ale and get on to editing more videos for y'all. So I'll see you later. Bye.